Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. Thanks for stopping by one more time here. We're going to talk about platinum today. I did a review on silver, and we've had some comments in terms of the energy builds in a couple of markets. Platinum is one of them. Crude oil, all have had sizable gains that were noticeable. So let's talk about. You really can't have a review on silver without talking about platinum, and we're going to break those down in a moment. We can see that the two primary trends are following roughly the same path. They almost flipped at the same time. There's only a 2-month difference. Silver is outperforming, but they're both positive. The energy builds are pretty close too. They're moving in the same direction, and we're going to see that in a moment. If you click these links, we're going to pull up those charts when they get in this tab in a minute. In terms of like the movement, platinum is not quite as overdone as silver is. You can see it on the daily trend that silver's been down a lot longer than platinum is. And the overall trend itself, probably when it resets, when silver goes and resets and platinum, they're going to look quite similar in terms of their early cycle and probably their composite scores. So let's look at their daily sticks here. You can see that there's been a capping action, has to do with their energy build that we saw. We're moving lower. Silver's doing the same thing. It's been a frustration phase. Silver's showing more of an upward drift than platinum is, and again, that probably is confidence related. As confidence deteriorates, platinum is probably going to be sought out less than silver will be. In terms of their energy bill, which we talked about on the other page, we can see that this is platinum right here, and it's moving, it's dissipating that bearish energy bill. Silver is doing the same thing, and if you look side by side with a comparison of these DI charts and their energy, the energy builds move very similar. Platinum and silver are very similar. Silver tends to move with more amplitude and force, but they tend to move at the same time. They tend to peak out around the same time, and they tend to bottom at the same time. In terms of the weekly reversals, we don't have to talk about silver. You can go watch the silver review that I did earlier today, and it will talk about all of this stuff in detail for it specifically. Platinum is facing the same issues that silver is. Lots of overhead reversals and a big band of grouping of them suggests not only are we chewing through and trying to deal with, we broke above that resistance, thought jumps the creek, now you're coming back down and testing it. Once it gets done playing with this area, it is going to hit an air pocket similar to the way silver will be, and it'll run rather quickly up into the upper band. For it to do that, you probably need some professional buying. Silver's not showing it. This is the pro index, this is the public index, and this is price up here. The pros are just not buying, not yet, and we're still in consolidation phase. It's that consolidation phase that's going to be marked by an energy build. It is this energy build that's going to transfer control from the weak to the strong hand. So this is encouraging shorter term, but it's probably not done. How big can this energy build go? We don't know. You're just going to react to it. The bigger it goes, the more energy is available to power the next impulse. So this is all positive. But until this primary trend and the weekly and daily all align together, which is basically we're waiting for is a reset, an R. Just like silver, you're waiting for a reset. It's probably going to be an early cycle reset with plenty of energy. It'll probably be much more powerful than any of their setups, and probably next to the flip that occurred 12 and 14 months ago. But this is where we're going to watch these two. For now, we're just going to talk about them, and we'll leave this as an open review for everyone to understand how the two of them are connected. But in terms of timing this, the bigger this energy build goes, closer it gets to 100. And we'll have to watch this. This is updated on a weekly basis, both for silver and platinum. I suspect they'll move together and will be tipped off before this thing really gets rolling. This will probably get quite large, and it'll build up in a way that will coincide with the seasonality timing frames, which we went over, and we don't have to talk about that again. In terms of the two markets and how they move together, I have the monthly trends going back into the 60s. And you can see this is the silver to platinum ratio down here, and this is silver right here, and this is platinum. You can see how they move very similar with different amplitudes. But when we get in certain periods, from this point on, platinum tends to outperform, and usually the outperformance comes in terms of it goes down less. But since you've made this low in the lower band, and we've moved from here, and this was about 2003-ish, the market is in a general outperformance towards silver relative to platinum. Now, it's going to ebb and flow within this larger cycle upwards, but as we pull back, platinum's going to do better in pullback. But when we get into the rally phase and we get into the triple alignment for both platinum and silver, silver's going to outperform platinum. And it's probably going to do that until about, well, this is probably another 4 or 5 years out, 4 years roughly. And then at that point, you'll reach a peak. And then both of them will consolidate. Silver will underperform, and it will largely be an underperformance relative to, probably it won't go down, or platinum's outperformance will be it won't go down as much as silver does. So things to watch if you're interested in platinum is you watch the setup in silver. Silver's not ready. It's still in a frustration phase. We think we can time it based on seasonalities, but seasonalities are just rough guidelines. They tend to follow the roadmap over time, but it is energy that's going to drive this. So we're going to keep a close eye on this in the coming weeks and months. It could be as little as a few weeks, could be as long as all the remainder of the rest of the year. It takes a while to build this energy. The invisible hand will do what it wants, and our job is just to react to it. When the reset comes, and there can be resets that are not viable as well as viable. Viable reset has a powerful energy build. There can be a reset that doesn't show that type of energy build, and it'll just fizzle. But when we get a really strong energy build, and then the reset that comes either during it or right after that is going to be viable, and that will fuel the next impulse higher. And I can guarantee you nobody will be bullish on platinum, palladium, and silver when the time comes. And really, the linkages between silver and platinum. Palladium moves on its own, and it really has a separate issue. I haven't done a palladium review in a while, mostly because it's gone into primary trend decline inside the matrix. So it's something that you're looking to finally get out of after years. And I say years. The primary trend flip on palladium was in 2018, and it's finally starting to roll over 3 years after that. So that just highlights the long-term effect or the long duration of profits inside the evolution of trade and how dependent it is on time. People who short-term trade usually can't beat the primary trend or the evolution of the trade because they move in and out so much, or they make mistakes, or they have to pay taxes on too many trades. And it isn't the way to do things. You have to build your core position, you hold it, you can move in and out around it as time passes to feel productive. But in the end, the position that makes you the most money is when you buy the flip and you sell primary trend decline. So the setup for silver and platinum are very similar. They're showing similar energy builds. They are going to follow similar paths. One's going to have more amplitude than the other. Neither one of them are ready. Both of them are in frustration phase, and everyone should be watching the matrix and watching the energy builds going forward, because it'll likely tell you when we're going to zero in. When these numbers get close to 60, 80, 100, they really get up there, that the time is running out, at least for the frustration phase, and something's going to happen. That something's probably going to be a confidence breaks that chases people into gold and silver, and it's going to pull up platinum along with it. If you have any questions or anything about any interest in the evolution of the trade, the matrix, or the blog, there's a link that'll take you back to the blog. Follow these videos inside the channel and follow the blog if you are interested in it. There's a lot of information there, and there's a lot of stuff that'll probably teach you about the fractal natures of trends that most people do not get involved with. Trading is far more complicated than just following a couple moving averages, and it takes experience, and The whole reason why the matrix was designed is in order to empower people who wouldn't normally get taught this stuff to really learn how trends and energy builds and cycles work. So if you have any questions, fall back to the blog, let me know. This is the setup for silver and platinum. They're both fairly impressive, but they're still in the frustration phase, and it'll likely get better sometime here late in the summer, possibly the fall, or maybe in early 2021. We'll have to just, all you can do is tune in and find out. And the best way I know how to do that is just subscribe to the Matrix. Thanks for watching the video and enjoy the rest of your weekend.